She spoke to the moon when no one else would listen. A story of the girl who longed for love and the woman who became it. By Atlanna Healing. From as early as 2 years old, her world had already begun to fracture. Her parents separated quietly, too early for her to understand, but never too early to feel. Her father was a man lost in his own survival. He chased career, perhaps hoping it would make him a better provider. But the little girl only knew his absence. She remembers his rare appearances. A man who would quietly slip into her room at night, pull the blanket over her tiny body, and kiss her on the forehead. That one kiss became the only proof she had that he once loved her. She only saw him a few times a year, and when she did, it was usually because she had caused trouble in school, fighting, rebelling, shouting for someone to see her. Rebellion became her only language for love. But as she grew older, even rebellion stopped working. Her father's concern turned to coldness. His patience wore thin, his anger grew louder. When things got too loud or messy, he would chase her out of the house. And every single time, her grandmother stood like a lioness in front of her, protecting her with a fierce love wrapped in soft hands. Was never the type to yell. She was the kind of woman the world no longer makes. Gentle, tender, endlessly patient. But when it came to protecting the child she loved, she roared with the strength of 1,000 mothers. They taught her compassion, empathy, and unconditional love. Not through words, but through the way they stayed. On the hardest nights, the little girl would take her small bag and favorite doll and run to the nearby park. She would cry until her chest ached and whisper her heart to the moon and stars. I just want to be loved. I just want someone to hold me. I just want to belong. Eventually, her tears would lull her to sleep beneath the stars. And every morning, she would wake up safely tucked in her own bed. She always knew. Had come quietly in the night, carried her home, and wrapped her back into warmth. He was her silent guardian, her rock. Her hero. He never spoke much. Booth's love was loud. When others mocked her or called her names, he stood tall beside her, his presence alone enough to hush them. When she fell from a chair and cried in pain, he rushed her to the clinic in panic, his eyes trembling with fear, his heart wide open. That day she felt worthy. That day she knew what it meant to be wanted. He would bring her favorite snacks from the market, remember every little thing she liked, even when he forgot names. And in his quiet way, he reminded her every day, "You matter. I see you. You are never alone." In 2012, her dearest passed on. The grief was immeasurable, but she found courage and asked to come live with her. Though dementia slowly clouded his memory, his spirit remained sharp in the ways that mattered. Even in forgetfulness, he made decisions that protected her. Years later, when she went through divorce, it was a clause in a legal letter that saved her from losing her home. He saved her even after he left. In March 2019, he passed, and 1 month later, she found out she was pregnant. A daughter, a soul of light, a quiet miracle. She wondered, was this child sent by them? Was Lavella an angel gifted by her ancestors? A living embodiment of all the love she once begged for? Because the moment that little soul entered her life, everything began to shift. She no longer felt like the girl abandoned at the park. She no longer needed to scream for love. She became the woman who now whispered healing into her own daughter's soul. And with that transformation came truth. She finally saw how deeply a broken family can wound a child. Not just for a moment, but for decades. She realized how childhood pain buries itself in the bones, and how the silence of our unmet needs can echo through every relationship. And so, she made a vow. I will not pass this pain down. My daughter will not inherit my wounds. The cycle ends with me. She began healing her inner child, not by forgetting the past, but by holding it gently, forgiving herself, forgive others. Now, she nurtures two hearts at once, the child within her and the child in her arms. To her daughter, she says, "You will never feel unwanted. You will never cry alone. You will never beg to be seen. Because I see you, I love you, and I will always come for you." And to her younger self, she whispers, "You were never unworthy. You were just waiting to be remembered." And through those words, she remembered her magic. She remembered who she is. She became what she always longed for, a safe place, a loving mother, a soul reborn. She no longer speaks to the moon in sadness, because now the moon speaks through her. She spoke to the moon when no one else listened, and now the moon lives inside her, guiding the woman who remembers. She was always magic,